It's the final part of a look at my slap and tickle films. Ahoy hoy everybody, and welcome to the third and final part of a look at these films, which are 76 comedies, mostly British, not all comedies, not all from the 70s, but that's sort of the genre, named Slap and Tickle after Odeon's range of films that a lot of these are from. Really enjoy these, you know, a lot of them are funny, all good films. A lot of them have very attractive women in them getting their kit off. What more could you ask for? So, we shall carry on with Au Pair Girls. Johnny Briggs is in this one, Coronation Street, Gabrielle Drake, Richard O'Sullivan. This is really good. 4 continental dolly birds arrive in London to work as home helps, but within 24 hours they all lose all of their clothes in this raucous 76 comedy. It's directed by Val Guest. John Le Mesurier appears in it, Trevor Bannister, Richard O'Sullivan. Yeah, this was a good one. Ups and Downs of a Handyman. Sue Lloyd, Bob Todd in this. This is sort of in the vein of the Confessions and Adventures of films, but in this case with a handyman who goes around doing jobs and seducing women, basically. It was okay. Not the best, but okay. We have What the Swedish Butler Saw, starring Diana Dawes and Sue Longhurst. This was good. Victorian aristocrat buys a former madhouse and converts it into a love nest. He intends to seduce Alice, the object of his desire, but is unaware that Jack the Ripper lives in the secret passages lining the building. After receiving the help of a brothel madam, Diana Dawes, he tries to seduce Alice, Sue Longhurst, with hypnotism, aphrodisiacs and various seduction devices. All his efforts though end in hilarious disaster as his saucy 70s romp unfolds. Eventually Jack gets more than he's bargained for as Alice turns the tables on him and reveals the true hot-blooded woman under her prim exterior. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. We have Games That Lovers Play. Joanna Lumley headlines this. Richard Wattis is in it. Jeremy Lloyd. Joanna Lumley married Jeremy Lloyd after meeting on this. Jeremy Lloyd, co-writer of A Lower Low and Are You Being Served? So Mrs. Hill and Lady Evelyn Shatterley are 2 competing brothel madams in 20s London who place a bet over whose girls turn the best tricks. When the results prove inconclusive, the madams randomly select a name from a phone book. The lucky punter turned out to be a staid wine seller played by a bespectacled Richard Wattis, who seems to be enjoying his close proximity to so much female flesh. Only he can decide who has the best talents. Yeah, again, quite a funny one. A decent film. So this is an American film, the Cheerleaders. So this is a bit more in the Porky's vein, but this is a precursor to Porky's. The girls of Amorosa High, or Debbie may have done Dallas, but the girls of Amorosa High are game enough to take on the whole country in the Cheerleaders, a classic 76 comedy where the laughs come thick and fast and the gym knickers come off even quicker. So it's about the cheerleading squad who will do anything to help their team win. But yeah, good film. Excuse me. This also has Revenge of the Cheerleaders, which was the follow-up film. And then there is a third film, which I can't remember what it's called, which I have on Blu-ray, which I've already shown. First one was the best. But yeah, these were a lot of fun. Again, good funny films and good attractive women. This is Call It Carol, which isn't really a comedy. It's quite dramatic and quite a moving film, actually. Really good. Robin Asquith and Janet Lynn play Joe and Carol, who go to seek their fortune in swinging London, but they find instead of finding the path, as it puts here, finding the streets paved with gold, they're drawn into a seedy spiral of drugs, porn and prostitution. Will the lure of hard cash destroy them, or will they finally wake up before it's too late? Jess Conrad's in this as well. Derek Aylward. But yeah, really good film. This is School for Sex. I'm trying to remember this one. Ah, yes. Okay. So basically Giles Wingate, he's accused of embezzling £30,000, but he's let off, saying that he's, the real victim, having been swindled out of a family fortune by 9 beautiful ex-wives. So, having been let off, he opens this school, finishing school in the English countryside, where he teaches the fine art of financial extortion to a group of sexy delinquent girls with often hilarious results. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. This is Groupie Girl. She's a sex-mad superfan. It all happens when sex goes pop. Donald Sumpter's in this, probably the biggest name. It's a sensational story packed with sex and drugs and rock and roll, following the sordid sex exploits of young music fan Sally. This X-rated expose delves deep into the steamy, seamy world of pop music. This was quite good. Again, produced by Stanley Long. Not overly funny, but a good film. We have Come Play With Me. Quite a famous one, this Mary Millington film. I don't really explain the plot on this, and I can't, to be honest, remember much of the plot. It tells the story of 2 elderly banknote forgers who seek refuge at a health farm. Lucky for them, the clinic is staffed by a board of sex-crazed nurses who can't wait to offer a variety of special treatments. Yeah, this is a good one, and it's the reason it's famous. It's another one that's in the box set. For men only. Who's in this one? Again, no big names. So Freddie Horn loves his job working for a trendy women's fashion magazine, but his pretty blonde fiance is getting jealous. He takes a job with a different magazine group, a Puritan magazine group, hell-bent on promoting moral reform and family values. But the chief executive is not all that he seems, and his country house is actually full of scantily clad young women, and he's secretly publishing a girly magazine. Yeah, this was quite a good one. This is Can You Keep It Up for a Week? This stars Jeremy Bulloch, who sadly died recently. Richard O'Sullivan's in it, Sue Longhurst again. So, prim and proper Annette promises to marry her accident-prone boyfriend, Jeremy Bulloch, on condition that he manages to hold down a job for just 7 days, but not everything goes to plan. When he signs up with an employment agency, every nympho in London wants to get him on the job. Yeah, this was quite a good one. This is a really good one. Games Girls Play. So Christine Hart, who's American, comes over. She's the underage man-eating daughter of a wealthy American businessman. After sleeping her way through the brass ranks of the US military, she's packed off to swinging London and a remote finishing school for wayward rich girls. Bored, she leads her newborn classmates in a contest to seduce a group of foreign dignitaries visiting London for disarmament talks, the winner being the first girl to get her VIP into BED. Yeah. Lot of fun, that one. Really good. And some nice ladies in it as well. This isn't really a sex comedy at all. This is The Language of Love. This is a Swedish documentary about sex, basically, and it was dull as... What? It is me worrying about saying fuck on a video where I'm showing you naked people. Rubbish. This was... so this is not 70s, and it's not a comedy, but it's just that sort of film. So this is Temptation. So it's dark and harrowing vampire tale set within the beating heart of London, a city that's become a nesting ground for a brood of bloodthirsty female vampires. After a heavy night trawling the night spots, gets more than she bargained for when she takes an illegal minicab home, raped and left for dead. She's saved by a vampire who dispatches a cabbie and revives her with a drop of her own immortal blood. And she spirals into a nightmare from which she may never awake, 48 hours in which she chooses between a life of immortality and blood or death. Yeah, it was quite a good film, actually. It's not overly sexy, but there's a fair bit of nudity and what have you in it. But yeah, it's quite good. This is Black Emmanuel. So this was one from a series of Emmanuel films. This is when Laura Gemser, I presume that's how you say her name, took over the role of Emmanuel, a photojournalist who's sent to Africa. As she's entranced by the primal landscape and free-spirited environment, what began as a normal assignment suddenly becomes an adventure of sexual awakening. Losing all her inhibitions and succumbing to her curious desires, she must feed her insatiable and carnal appetite at all costs. So this isn't so much a comedy, but it's, you know, part of the genre. But it was good. I enjoyed that one a lot. This is Respectable, the Mary Millington story. So this is a documentary about the life and tragic death of Mary Millington. Lots of extras on this. This is also in the box set, but it's a very interesting documentary. This is Swing. So not really a sex comedy, not really, certainly not 70s. I don't remember, was it 2005, and certainly not English because it's Japanese. So this is about a bored Japanese housewife, basically. And she's, after an argument, she's encouraged by a woman to experiment sexually, which in turn leads her to a labyrinthine world of sex and swapping. It was quite strange, but quite good. Secrets of Sex. Who's in this? Nobody really. From 1970. Imagine you were making love to this girl. Imagine you were making love to this boy. Celebrated filmmaker Anthony Balch directs one of the most idiosyncratic and unforgettable British movies of all time. The film a censor tried to stop. From beyond the grave, a 1,000-year-old mummy narrates a series of kinky stories to illustrate the age-old battle of the sexes. From cosmic thrills, supernatural kinks and swinging permissiveness, this is boy versus girl in a hip psychedelic mix of vintage glamour and grotesque horror. Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I remember it not being particularly good. This is What's Good for the Goose. So this is only a PG. There is an unrated cut, if you like, with more nudity in it. It was released overseas, but wasn't released over here. This is Norman Wisdom, believe it or not. He swaps Mr. Grimsdale for extramarital bonking in this outrageous and colourful British sex comedy. So he's a married middle-aged bank clerk who falls in love with 18-year-old hitchhiker Sally Geeson. I think it's Geeson, isn't it? Pretty things appear in this, as I say in the previous video. I think lots of these have got some good music from proper bands in it. Yeah, it was a good film. It's just a shame it was the PG cut. And finally, we have The Love Box. Again, nobody Flanagan's in it, who some of you may be aware of. She appears in some Monty Python. Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind all those sexy contact adverts in seedy magazines? Well, this lifts the lid on the secret lives and lusts of the people who use them to seek out their kinky thrills, like the bored, horny housewives who long for a lusty stud, the teenage virgin seeking an older woman to initiate him, and the sex-mad couples who want to spice up their lives with a bit of wife swapping. Whatever your secret games, there are plenty of passionate playmates in the Love Box, the most exciting contact sport ever invented. This was quite good, actually, I think. I seem to recall. Not great, but quite good. There we have it. Those are my slap and tickle films, my 70s sex comedies and similar. I'm presuming if you've watched these, you don't mind them. Obviously not to everybody's taste, but I enjoy them a lot. There's quite a few more on my wish list. I have a separate wish list, and when I'm doing Amazon orders for of bits and bobs for myself, I'll occasionally chuck one in the order. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So from here, we will move on. There will be a video I recorded a while ago with a few more box sets in it, and then we'll move on to my comedy ones. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks. Bye.